My 29F husband, 30M, doesn't want me to take a certain medication. I am diabetic. I have an unhealthy relationship with food. I don't eat large amounts of my main meals, but I love to snack. I also stress eat. Given my genetics and family history, that is enough to make me diabetic at just 27 years. For the last 2 years, I tried a lot to quit the bad habit, be physically active, etc. But it is an addiction, has been hard for me to quit unless probably I am physically restrained from eating. I went to therapy last year, tried 2 different therapists but did not help. I will continue to look for a suitable therapist. The habit of overeating and not being able to lose weight bothers me a lot, makes me so sad and irritable, but weirdly enough, I cannot still quit. I feel like a failure all the time. Seeing me struggling, my doctor asked me I wanted to try semaglutide, like Ozempic, which will stop me from overeating/snacking as well as excellent for blood sugar control. She warned me that I need to develop good habits while on it, otherwise I will start eating again once I am off the medication. I agreed and tried it for a month. I felt extremely good mentally. Not having snacks at home wasn't an emergency anymore. I did not think about food constantly and started feeling confident again. Except I didn't mention it to my husband. He doesn't like medications in general unless there's no other way. He is super against taking medication to aid weight loss or diabetes, instead prefers lifestyle changes. He himself has made several such changes for the benefit of his health, which of course yielded great results for him. Unfortunately for me, due to my addiction to food, it's not so easy. Anyway, I wanted to try the semaglutide for a month or so, then discuss it with him and take it for longer term. As fate would have it, he found the package. Yep, he did, and he was livid. He felt deceived and, kinda, cheated that I did not discuss such an important decision with him. If you look at the dynamics of my marriage, it is true that we usually would have discussed this beforehand. But I didn't because A, I wanted to give it a try before discussing B. In general, I don't like to discuss my diabetes with anyone in detail as I am extremely ashamed and conscious about it. Anyway, he was extremely upset for 2 to 3 days. He told me that he has trust issues now. Again, given the dynamics of my marriage, it is expected for him to feel so. But after that he was okay as long as I never took it again and always discussed such things with him. I told okay. It's been 2 months since this happened and I have been eating like before since last 1 month, back to my previous weight, feeling like shit again. What should I do? Should I secretly start taking the medication again? I really want to, but I don't want to hurt him again. If I am honest with him, he will never agree to me taking it. The other day I asked him, would you rather have me suffer the complications of diabetes than taking this medication? He told me that I won't have complications if I were to exercise and eat right. Right, why did I not think of that before? I am really frustrated and I think have started to resent him a little. What should I do? I, F29, am not comfortable with my, M29, boyfriend's friendship with his coworker, F29. Am I looking for something that isn't there or am I picking up on something? Before I start, my partner has cheated on me in the past with another coworker, hence why I'm a little admittedly a little insecure. My boyfriend and I have been together for 5 going on 6 years. We recently had twins and I've become a stay-at-home mom to both of them. My boyfriend loves to tell me about his day and would call me pretty regularly. I've noticed over time a decline of calls and text. He works a manual job where he pretty much is by himself and can wear headphones. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy he's making friends with his coworkers, but I don't like when a said coworker is starting to give me signs I'm not liking. They talk on the phone for hours if not the entire shift together. He's admitted that to me. She once compared my boyfriend to her now ex-husband. They are starting to talk about sensitive topics that I don't think is appropriate for them to talk about. They have talks about me, my friends, my family, our relationship, his relationship with his family, etc. When I told him I don't feel comfortable with how close he's starting to become with her, he was so upset that it led to an argument that lasted several days. I wasn't mad at first. What was making me so upset was that he was defending and becoming very defensive over another woman. At the end of that fight he said, well, she's married and she nor I are interested in each other. He said he wasn't attracted to her, but it felt like he was trying to over-exaggerate why he wasn't attracted to her. Almost like he was defensive. I'm not sure how to explain it. It pretty much ended in I'm sorry, but I'm now not comfortable with you guys being friends. He was angry but agreed to stop being friends with her. He said he was just going to tell her that they can't be friends and only have a professional work relationship, and that would be the end of that. Turns out that is not what he told her. He told her that I didn't like her and that I don't want him to be friends with her. Turns out a few weeks later she was getting a divorce. She said her husband cheated on her and she immediately called my boyfriend. If this was a friend of many years I would understand why she would want to talk to him. But a co-worker of a few months who you're allegedly not that close with. He then told me later that day that he talked with her and he wants to be friends with her. It was the way and tone he said it that I also didn't like. It was like he was implying that, yeah, I know you don't like us being friends, but I'm going to be friends with her regardless of what you say. And if you get mad about this, I'm going to be mad at you. Now present day they are back at it on the phone for hours every day. She has told him numerous times that she wants to talk to me. That she wants to tell me how she isn't interested in him that way. That I have nothing to worry about. That doesn't really make me feel better. He keeps telling her stuff I'm into and she tells him how she likes those things too. Then he says how if I just gave her a chance we could be good friends. Am I being problematic? If I am, please give me genuine advice, because I'm not sure if I'm just looking for a problem or if I'm actually picking up on something. Found out husband has slept with my friend before we started dating. Hello. I am so heartbroken and I need different opinions on my problem. So I, 31F, have had a very good friend, 34F, for 10 years. I would say best friend. I always told her everything. Every detail about my relationships and sex life. And she to me too, or I was only thinking that. My rule my whole life was to never be with my friend's ex. Never. I don't like that. I don't like sharing same person with my friends. That's only my opinion and my preferences if anyone is offended. So I started dating my husband, 37M, and my friend was so excited. I knew they were friends before. I told her everything, every detail of our sexual life, and she was so excited for me and encouraged me. So fast forward 5+ years, my husband and I have a long rough period. And in one fight he told me my friend has gave him a blowjob. I was shocked. And I have called my friend and asked her, is that the truth? She told, why would he say that? And we finished conversation. Today he started a fight and I asked him, has he slept with her? And told me yes. A couple of times. I asked her, she confirmed. She told me that was 1-2 months before we started dating and that she didn't want to tell me. They had talked then and said that they won't tell me that. She confirmed me that he wanted to tell me that at start our relationship. And that he didn't want problems one day when we have kids. And she begged him not to tell because that would ruin our friendship. I'm so heartbroken and I don't know how to feel. She knew every detail of our sex life for past 5 years, she knew about every fight. About everything. And she stayed quiet. So was he. I'm so disappointed, shocked. Betrayed. The thought she knew how my husband's private parts are and sexual preferences makes me sick. I am aware that he had other girlfriends and I am alright with that, but I can't feel the other way. Goes the same way for my husband and her private parts and other. So they are the same to blame. The only thing I told her that if she only told me they have been together I wouldn't be with him. Ever. The reason he told me that is because he saw text messages between us where I spoke with her because of our problems, and he lost it and was so mad at her. So I should know who I tell my marriage problems to. Funny, after 5 years. I just feel like a fool. And I don't know how to navigate with both of them. Cut out or not. My feelings are so mixed. Husband and almost best friend slept before we started dating. They agreed not to tell me. After 5+ years, my husband told me that in a fight. Update: thank you all for your comments. I have read them all and probably will read it 2 more times. I have posted this to see another opinions, good or bad. And other view of that because sometimes our feelings can overcome our mindset. And I am grateful for all the comments, really. I know sometimes I have told too much. But that was not coming in a bad way. I was too naive and I trust people too much sometimes. I understand that can hurt people. And I understand his reaction, but not in this way. For the situation, I don't know what to do yet. I don't mind he slept with someone else before me, I have had other partners too. Simply it hurts so much because I wouldn't have guessed it, never. They had a choice to tell me, they didn't. But I guess it was from a place that is good for both of them, not me. In that time she didn't lose a good friend and he got a wife. That is selfish from both of them because they didn't think how would I feel knowing all that. From this I think I cannot be a good friend with her anymore because in every situation I have supported her and gave all my best. In fact, she was the first person to know I am pregnant. For my husband, he lost my trust and I don't know how to work this out. My girlfriend, F21, rejected my M21 proposal because it didn't meet her expectations. For context, my girlfriend and I have been together for 6 years, and over Thanksgiving weekend I took her on a week-long trip to Hawaii with the intention of proposing to her. I even asked her parents for their blessing and showed them the ring a couple days before we left for the trip. We have talked about marriage before and we've both agreed that we want to marry each other, so the idea of it is nothing new and actually a frequent topic. The issue is that she wanted a grand wedding proposal similar to the ones you might see on TikTok/Instagram. Big, marry me, letters on the beach, rose petals on the ground, lights, mariachi, etc. I was absolutely on board on doing that for her if it made her happy, but that was something to be planned at a beach back at home since I wouldn't have the resources to plan it for a trip to somewhere we've never been, especially because we booked everything as a last-minute vacation just 5 days prior, ironically after she sent me videos of people vacationing in Hawaii. I believe this would be a great opportunity though. I planned to propose to her on the day we arrived. I carried the ring in my pocket all day waiting for a good opportunity to ask her, knowing it wasn't going to be a grand proposal like she had hoped, but I thought because of the circumstances she would be happy. However, we had some completely unnecessary arguments and I decided to postpone because I didn't want to do it after a bitter day. Second day there, we had booked a reservation to go parasailing. I didn't want to risk losing the ring, so I left it back at the hotel. We didn't get back to the hotel until 5 p.m. and we started getting ready to go back out in the city. By this time it was already starting to get dark. She said before that she would want a sunset proposal, and knowing that I couldn't organize any of the other things she had in mind for a proposal. The sunset was the only thing I had. I missed my chance on that, but we still went out to dinner and drinks. We came back to the hotel afterwards because she was tired, I was too. It was an eventful day. I let her rest for a bit and around 10:30 I convinced her to go on a night walk with me at the beach. This was when I planned to propose to her. We got to the beach, the city was very much still awake and the lights of the buildings and streets combined with the bright moon illuminated the ocean beautifully. We stood there hugging and kissing, both knowing it was a beautiful and intimate moment. I started telling her how much I love her and how I want to be with her my entire life, etc. As I started to get on my knee and reaching my pocket for the ring, she stopped me. "I hope you're not about to propose to me right now, this isn't what I expected." My heart dropped. I got back up and stood speechless before starting to walk back to the hotel. I was in no mood to talk about the situation and told her we should talk about it tomorrow. We talked about it the next day and she insists on me doing it again, but this time, the right way, during sunset. I tell her I can't do that because she rejected me already. She tells me she didn't reject it, just simply it wasn't how she would have wanted it to happen. We spent the next 4 days in Hawaii in a very tense state, but we had to deal with it until we got back home. We lived together and for the first night she went to sleep with her parents. Now she came back, but I don't want to be home with her there. What can be the outcome of the situation? I obviously didn't want this to happen during our vacation, but I can't see it other way. Is this a valid reason for me not wanting to be with her anymore? I also don't think it's right for me to redo the proposal. Coworker, 20F, ditched me, 24M, at the Christmas night out after begging me to go out with her afterwards. How do I deal with the situation going forward at work? So basically there's this girl, Chloe, at work who I know has fancied me for over a year. I've seen texts from other coworkers of her calling me cute, and at the start of every shift she runs into my arms and hugs me and won't leave me alone. I do like her back, but I have never considered doing anything cause I've always been paranoid about a relationship in the workplace. Anyway, we had our Christmas night out this past Saturday, and in the 2 weeks leading up to it she spends every shift asking me to come out with her afterwards. She has a small girl group at work and they are all going out drinking at a bar. I say, I'm not sure, we'll see, to her repeatedly, and even Tally she just starts straight up telling me I'm coming 100%. The day before the night out I am in for a shift and am told by multiple people that she has sent her BFF in today to persuade me to come out with her on Saturday. Everyone at work then starts getting on to me basically saying, come on, go with her, she a nice girl and she loves you. Then, at the night out she is again up in my face trying to get me to commit, several times over the evening, telling me we could then go back to mine after. My other coworkers keep turning to me and saying, you two have known each other for so long and have incredible chemistry, give the girl a chance, and telling me how cute a couple we'd be. LOL. So, I finally cave and tell her I'll come with her. She seems over the moon and asks me to promise, which I did. 11 p.m. comes around and the taxi arrives. We both walk out together chatting, but when we get to the car there is only one seat left. The girl then jumps in and closes the door in my face without saying anything. Another of the girls is in the passenger side with the window down. She turns to me and goes, are you coming? And I reply, yeah, she invited me. The girl then turns to Chloe and asks, did you say he could come? Chloe pauses for a sec and says, no. Her pal then turns back to me and goes, sorry man, no space, see you later. Then pulls up the window and they drive off, leaving me standing alone at the side of the street. She didn't even say bye or wave or anything, just blanked me. This is genuinely one of the most embarrassing things which I've ever had happen to me, but luckily my friends were still there and came and got me when they realized I was out there on my own. Everyone is mind blown when I tell them what just happened. I am so confused about the whole thing. One of my friends knows she wasn't the one who actually called for the taxi, so maybe she just panicked when she realized there wasn't enough space for me. But still, if that is the case, I feel like she could have just explained and apologized to me and not lied. From my POV, I could now never consider a relationship with her again after what she has done regardless of the circumstance. She's taken a few days off this week so I won't see her until our Saturday shift, so I am looking for advice on how to handle this awkward situation in the workplace. I am genuinely so angry at her, but I don't want any drama. Fiancé, 35M, has big reactions to discussions with me, 34F. I'm just curious to know if anyone else has dealt with extreme reactions from their partner. I don't mean anything abusive, but I mean when you express something to them that they respond in a way that seems bigger than it should. An example of this is that my partner got blackout drunk at one point, and I completely lost track of him for an entire evening and morning while he was away. This has actually been a massive issue for us throughout the relationship, and I won't really go into that, but some things have happened that have left me feeling really uncomfortable and hurt while he's drunk. When he returned back from his trip, he promised that he would no longer drink at all and seemed quite sincere. Fast forward 2 months and I noticed that he was beginning to order drinks with dinner and he was going to the store to buy alcohol weekly. I asked him if everything was okay / was he feeling stressed lately. He said he was fine and asked why I asked. I said I know that you wanted to stop drinking, so just wanted to check in. He then responded by getting up from the couch, dumping out the drink in his hand, dumping out all of the beers in the fridge, all of the alcohol in the cabinets, and then said he was going to bed. I asked him if he was upset and if we could talk about it, and he said no, he didn't want to feel judged anymore and he was just going to quit drinking for good. That made me feel so guilty, but that is only one instance of him saying something and then getting quiet when I ask if everything is okay. Is it actually me? Should I just not say anything? He has a tendency to say he's stopping things, and then doesn't.